Hello. Hi. I'm back. I'm back after I had last week. I had a little break because being a father has end of year school obligations. So I had to be away for my older son um, uh, celebration of end of the year celebration or something. It was pretty cool actually. Pretty exciting and emotional as well. But anyway, that's great to see you again. Hello, Lituanus. Yeah, welcome back. Hello, 57 Jam today. You're the first one to say hello. So a bigger hello to you. And everyone else, I guess that you've noticed there has been some pretty big Warhammer stuff going on this week. This past week, we have been working hard on making Skulls Festival this year very different and exciting, and kind of full of different things that we wanted to both announce, deliver, and release. So there's been a lot happening. You probably know that Gladius has been free to keep for the last 6 days, and if you want to know, if you're curious to know how many copies have been downloaded of Gladius in the last 6 days, well, we've had just over 6 million downloads of Gladius free to keep during the Skulls Festival so far. Last day usually people go berserk and just do whatever. It doesn't mean that 6 million players actually played the game, but they downloaded it. They now have it, and hopefully they're going to play it at some point. We're very happy about it, and not only because it's just a lot of people playing the game, and that's great. We're happy about it because Gladius was released quite a long time ago. I think it was 2017 or 2018. So it's been quite a long time the game has been out, and we are sort of proving to ourselves and to the world that games are living beasts. They can go on for quite a long time before they expire and before they get old and before people get used to them and bored. So far the game is having the best year in terms of sales, in terms of people playing, in terms of a lot of different markers in our marketing indicators. But it's also great because development wise we know that there's a plan for things. So all the games we do are franchises, and we try to sort of work on them as in the long term. So expect a lot of this happening to all of our games. It doesn't mean that all of the games will have millions of players playing them. It just means that we've got big enough franchises that we can work on them continuously to please the core fans of these franchise. And well, thanks for picking up Firepower. And the other, of course, the other Warhammer game that had a big release alongside the Skulls Festival was Warhammer 40,000 Battle Sector Orcs released. Orcs has always been the number one choice for next DLC. We tried not to keep it too secret, but we also weren't able to announce it properly until release. So we had to sort of almost like reveal it on the day of release, but it was pretty much out there that it was going to be Orcs. And it's, of course, after Necrons and Sisters of Battle, it has been the third DLC, faction DLC. It's been the best selling so far, which means, again, the battle sector is alive and kicking, and there's a lot of different plans for expanding this universe as well. It's all meaning that we're just backing the games and so on. So no, sorry if I'm turning this tea time into beer time today, but it's close to 30 degrees in Milan, and it's not good to have a hot tea at this point. I guess we'll have to get ready for something different from now on. What's going on with Broken Arrow, DRK Unicorn 124? That's a long nickname. Broken Arrow, as you guys probably know, the next big step in the Broken Arrow cycle of development is going to be the testing of the multiplayer capabilities, meaning that we're not only going to test multiplayer for the game, so if it works and such, but it's also going to be a test for the multiplayer technology that we have behind Broken Arrow. So what's taking slightly longer than expected is just setting up this technology and making sure that this works. We don't want to be one of these games that releases and, hey, we've got 100,000 people playing the game and the server's crashing and everybody's reviewing the game negatively and refunding. So not something we want. So we're working towards fixing all these things and making sure that we release something that's working. So that's what's happening on Broken Arrow. We are working actively on that. Where are you going to work on Strategic Command Napoleon? Ciccio Pasticcio. I wish I would like to do a Strategic Command Napoleon. It's never been a big seller, Napoleon. It's like in the ranking of best-selling, historical periods. It's not in the top 3. It's not even the top 5. So it's always very hard to come up with something that, to develop something that has less sales commercial potential. But it's definitely something that we're looking at, is expanding the Strategic Command universe, and Fury Software are doing that exactly. So we have some stuff coming up for Strategic Command, specifically regarding American Civil War, but I can't tell you anything right now. Very soon. When are you gonna let us know about RBS is working on Fog 2, Mordante? RBS is currently working on my summer calendar. After that, we're going to announce what he's working on, but probably going to be winter this year, to let you know more about what RBS is doing. So this week we had another big event happening. One of the games that you guys were asking for more information on has constantly been Terminator. We had on Tuesday, we had the big reveal of the Terminator gameplay. It's all up on YouTube and on Twitch if you want to see all the hour-long stream we had. It was a very successful stream. Not only the stream went well, the reactions were very positive. We had a very, very good feedback from both the co-streamers, the content creators that were streaming the live stream with us and hosting it, but also from the players watching the gameplay. They had a great feedback on the game itself, on the mechanics and such. But what we had the pleasure to introduce to you for the first time was this cinematic, the new cinematic featurettes we've done for trailers, or you want to call them, to introduce the story of the game. So I'm gonna redo these during this tea time, and you're gonna see them again. The actress doing these features is Bennett Cousins. She's been also the main character on Battlestar Galactica Deadlock as a nice Easter egg, and she's been great on that, and we decided to get her on board for Terminator 2. So have a look.
Are we on? Are they jamming us again? Oh, I don't have much time. We are tracking multiple active HKs, but listen, there is someone else out here with us. Someone else fighting the machines. I don't know who these guys are, but they look pro. Which is crazy, because there isn't a military anymore, right? We're too far north for them to be cartel. That doesn't mean they're going to be on our side. Learned that the hard way. There are too many other survivor groups out here, each with their own agenda, not realizing there is only one real goal in this war. I think... All right, listen, I'll try to track them, get more information. If they're friendly, we sure could do it to help, and if not... here. Being in the movement means always on the move, right?
So Terminator releasing this year, December, say winter 2023 was the key words used by Julia and Mark during the stream. So it's going to be December this year. We're looking at nailing down the release date, firm release date in the next few weeks, but definitely going to be December. This is one of the three videos you find on YouTube. There's three of these. This one is sort of introducing the storyline, so you can see there's something happening within the founders. Sorry, the movement has found, somebody else is working towards getting rid of the machines, and that there's then setting up an alliance and going into a final battle towards the end. So the three videos were sort of illustrating this type of storyline. I owe you a number of answers because during the stream we were able to answer all the questions that were on the stream. So the first one was if there will be hotkeys to set up your shortcuts and during in the game, and the answer is yes. It's already included in the game. So when you'll be playing the beta, you'll find out about that, and you'll be able to sort of give feedback on specifically that aspect of the game. The beta is we are now still receiving beta applications. There's a lot of people who have applied for the beta, so get ready for some competition in getting a seat on the beta. But do subscribe and do send us a nice message saying why you want to be in the beta, because we need different eyeballs, different types of approaches to understand where we want to take this game. It's a very different type of RTS. In a sense, we want to sort of get rid of all the structural RTS features that just distract from the actual action. So this is very much an action-based RTS where there's no like structural base building type of thing like that, or resource management or anything. It's very much like hit the ground and fight. So we need a lot of feedback. So we're going to allow more and more people to beta the game very, very soon. There is also a gameplay reveal on YouTube on the YouTube channel for Terminator. Absolutely, yes. There are some articles on PC Games Zen, I think, on some Italian and German sites as well. So there's quite a lot of information out there about the game if you want to judge for yourself. Byron, so better RTS or it reflexes. Well, I guess Byron, I think one of the things that makes it kind of a different approach here is it's not like your StarCraft type of RTS where you really have to sort of clickbait exercise. It's a bit more, it's a bit slower but intense, I would say. But yeah, not a turn-based game, of course. Question number 2 was, will there be ranked ladders and multiplayer in the game? We don't know yet. There's going to be a multiplayer mode in the game. We're not looking at making it a multiplayer focused experience like some other RTSs around. We believe that to give justice to the Terminator IP, we want to tell a story. We want to express our creativity in telling a story in the Dark Fate universe. And this is also giving us a lot of creativity freedom to expand on the universe and to make a lot of different very cool side stories, characters. There's a lot of very cool things happening. So there will be a multiplayer mode, but there's not going to be like your core multiplayer functionalities that you'd find in a multiplayer focused game. So maybe ladders are coming, but if it's going to be sort of on a lighter perspective, and maybe later we'll add more in the future. The sound effects respectful to the lore. Well, all the sound effects in the game, or the vast majority of the sound effects in the game, have been provided to us by the license owner Skydance. So I guess you couldn't be, sticking more to that to the lore of the original Terminator Dark Fate. Will it be used? Will there be different shells on artillery units? Yes, you will be able to customize your artillery units with different types of shells. There's a lot of different customization options in the game. So quite a lot of very cool things you can do with your units and making them very special and for different types of use. One question was about settings and the climate zones and different types of settings you've got in the game. There's quite a lot of different settings. The overall story is all set in sort of Southwest America. Southwest America. But there's different types of landscape you'll see or environment. So there's a bit more deserty places. There's city, it's all post-apocalyptic. So you won't find any, lavish forest or busy city. It's all a bit destroyed and not very very happy. But it's all diverse. There's a lot of diversity in the game, within the game, diverse locations, diverse tactical approaches, diverse strategic layouts, but also different settings and such. So there's quite a lot of different things in the game. Will there be a co-op for the game? There will be a 1v1 and 2v2 in multiplayer, and but no co-op in the story mode. That's not going to happen. Will you be able to fine-tune difficulty settings like setting teams, unit health? Often the game's difficulty is either too hard, too easy, nothing in between. We've got 4 different difficulty settings in the game, Wolverine. So I think we're going to have a lot for everyone. I guess that we're not trying hard to make an easy game, an easy experience. This is a game that sort of, has its core into trial and error type of approach, where you really have to try hard to, use the right units, use the right tactical approach, and so on. But there's going to be an easy mode. You'll be able to sort of make it through the game without being a big expert, and enjoy the story more. Having said that, it's an RTS, so it's not like anyone can pick it up and play. Like not that type of approach. We want it to be a game that's reflecting a deep gameplay and something that goes into the story, the characters, the different units, and so on. Right. So before, if there's any other question on Terminator, what I'll do is I'll play the second video and then I'll come back to you and talk to you about an event we've got coming up next week.
We lost good people today. They walked right into the machine's guns. We've all lost people. And we're going to lose more. Every day the machines keep hunting us. We have been fighting this war just to stay alive. But we have this new ally. Alex Church, part of this group called the Founders. They're what's left over of the old US military. He's been fighting alongside us. He is everything we need right now. And maybe something more. The best we can hope for isn't just to keep the human race going. This is how we fight back.
This is how we fight back. I pitched for the role, but they didn't want me. I'm sorry. I was so good. I could have said this sentences much better, but they didn't want me for the role. So Terminator coming out in December this year. So make sure that you wishlist it. if you want to be part of the beta, slitherine.com/beta. Yeah, Edmund, we were in line for the auditions, both of us. We had like 3 days in line for the auditions, eating crappy food, and they didn't take it. They didn't want us at all. So anyway, um, one important thing happening next week. Now, next week on Tuesday, June 6th, you would expect that a company like us would do a D-Day celebration for June 6th. But no, we have decided to dedicate June 6th to a different type of subject. We're doing what we call the Field of Glory Day. And Field of Glory Day is going to be a massive celebration. So it's going to be, first of all, a celebration of Field of Glory. Field of Glory is a franchise Slitherine has been attached to for almost 15 years now. We have produced 2 long series of video games based on it, but also we originally produced the Wargaming rule set. It's still, being sold around the world. If you play minis, there has been a cards game back in, maybe 10, 12 years ago. And I think it's still, selling somewhere. And Field of Glory is a franchise that, as you know, this year hit the end of its current cycle with the release of the last DLC for both medieval and ancients. But we wanted to give you the idea that and the belief that the Field of Glory franchise is not over. Field of Glory is a franchise we're investing massively on for now, for upcoming games like, as you know, Field of Glory Kingdoms releasing soon, and more in the future. So Fog, as we call it internally, Field of Glory, is something that we really cherish as one of the most important franchises in our catalog. And we know it's a franchise that appeals to a very specific audience, a very specific players. And it's always been probably the most played game for, a pure wargaming audience we've ever had. And we are looking at expanding this audience, but keeping true to the roots of what the game is. So Field of Glory Day, what's going to happen? We've got like different types of events. So during the day, it's all happening in our office here in Milan. So you get to, see a bit more of our place here, but we're going to have a tabletop tournament going on. We're going to have like physical minis. We're going to have a digital tournament with, it's an invitational. We've got some of the best players around the world coming here to play the game live. And there's, I think, 8 players, selected players, and they're all playing against each other during the day. And we're going to have a final as a final event of the evening. We are also, the core, of course, is going to be 1 hour of pure gameplay of Field of Glory Kingdoms with Annie and Neil from the production team, and Pocus coming to Milan to present the game to you guys. They are staying here for the whole event, and they're going to produce an hour-long presentation of the product. It's going to be, going into much detail on gameplay, on features, on innovations. Whatever you want to ask, you'll be able to ask these guys because they have the answers, and we're not shy in answering the questions that we know the answer to. So we will not reveal the Kingdom's release date, Ciccio, because we don't know it ourselves. The honest truth is that the game is in beta, and until we know how the beta will expand and go, we won't know when the release date will be. What I can tell you for sure is that we're not planning to release Field of Glory Kingdoms this year. It's 99.9% going to release in 2024. That's for sure. And the other bit that we're going to do is, because we're very serious about our history and our Field of Glory experiences, we're teaming up with the University of Winchester Every year, the University of Winchester does a Twitter event called Medieval History and Video Games. And we have turned this into, with them, we have turned this into a Twitch event. So there will be an hour-long discussion about Middle Ages and video games. We have 5 professors from universities around Europe who will come and online and discuss about this very specific topic. The professors we'll have are Robert Orton, who's the great organizer of this fantastic event, and Ryan Lavelle, both from the University of Winchester, Lisiane Lassos from the Southern Eastern Norway University, Professor Vinicius Marino Carvalho from the State University of Campinos, and Juan Manuel Rubio Arevalo from the Central European University. All professors who are dedicated to using games to teach, but also use history to be present into video games. It's a fascinating subject. I have to say that the first time we've been contacted by them was before we went on board to be sponsoring the event, but it was like, these guys are, true fans of video games. So Professor Orton is also a big fan of Crusader Kings, and he's been in the testing team for Crusader Kings as well. So they know their stuff, but also they know their history. So it's like combining the two is a perfect mix, especially for you guys out there. You are big history fans as well. So knowing from an academic perspective what happens, I think is a very fascinating subject. And so I hope to see you there. I hope to see all of you during the Feel Great Day on June 6th, on next Tuesday. We're setting things up upstairs with lots of very cool tables and to play games and such. But also it's going to be interesting to answer your questions and making sure that you feel home like we always want you to feel. Sandy, I'm also going to answer your question about Stargate as well. Can we have some info on Stargate? You mentioned a few weeks ago a beta in May and release in July, but since then no news. I agree with you, Sandy. We've been very bad for this. On Stargate, I literally just had before coming down here to do tea time, I just had a conversation about beta with Shards. Just probably following, and he can he can confirm that. So we were hoping to release a beta before the end of May, but currently the game is not in a state where we want to. There's a lot of little things, not big stuff, but little things that we don't want to be put in front of you guys because you'll be distracted by that and not look at the game. And so it's very stupid things like fixing some animations and making sure some of the characters do properly move around instead of just being stuck, because we know these are issues we've got, and if we release a beta with these issues, you'll be only seeing these issues and won't look at what we truly want to understand, if gameplay is cool and is fine and so on. So as we're looking at big numbers of beta testers, we're also looking at delivering a beta version that already is at a state where it could potentially release. It's that type of game. We need to have that type of feedback. So we had to postpone the beta a few weeks, and we'll keep you posted on that. We are still looking at releasing the game ASAP, and we've got our team up in Warsaw playing and working super hard to make sure the game releases as soon as possible. Duty calls, any news you can share with us about Command Modern Operations? I can share a lot of news about that. Command, as you know, is following this double track, with professional version and commercial version. We are going to have 2 major updates this year. One for commercial, one for professional. 2 major update means another set of big changes and big feature additions to both versions. entirely free. We are planning 2 more DLCs. One is a bigger DLC. One is more in a showcase type DLC, so smaller, bite-sized, focusing on one unit. Can't tell you what it is yet. And behind the scenes explanation. We have a file which includes all the DLC we're working on right now, and it's like different teams working on different DLCs, and we sort of slide release dates and topics like crazy. So really, we don't know what is the actual DLC that we'll manage to release this year. But that's what I can tell you about Command. Command, we've just been last week. We were at the combined naval event for professional Navy defense personnel. We presented Command new functionalities and modern naval warfare to a lot of literally tens of people. It was the first time we did it in a in such a big event for naval components instead of just more air and ground forces, and it was massive. So we're very happy about where it's going, but also very much aware that Command is again one of these live games that we need to take very good care of. Kushan, I heard the magic word. Hey Kushan, how are you? How are you? I hope you're fine. I think you're live on Monday next week at 6:15. Let me go to that then. Stream schedule. I've got you served. Stream schedule. Tomorrow, June 2nd. June 2nd is a bank holiday in Italy. By the way, I'm telling this to every colleague out there as well. We're not in the office tomorrow. June 2nd is the Day of the Republic. The day when we chose to be a republic, not a monarchy. Lucky Italians. Oh, lucky Italians. Byron, you tell me about lucky Italians. The May, for anyone living in the UK, it's the month of holidays. They have more bank holidays in May than anyone else. And Edmund is also saying about bank holidays. Bank holidays in Norway are there's about 57 days of bank holiday in Norway or something like that. Anyway, tomorrow we have Yog Dog is playing Distant Worlds 2 at 6 p.m. All UK time, as you know. Das Tactic, sorry, just all the right correct name. Is playing Master of Magic at 8 p.m. That's still tomorrow. On Monday, we've got Yog Dog playing Flashpoint Campaign Southern Storm at 4:15. Kushan is playing Command at 6:15, and Hexaboo is playing some crazy game of Rule the Waves 3 at 8:15. And on Tuesday, as you know, I've said on Tuesday we've got Field of Glory Day. Field of Glory Day, the big timings you've got to make a note of are the Kingdom's World Premiere going live at 3 p.m. and Medieval History and War and Video Games going live at 2 p.m. And then lots of tournaments and things happening as well. And then on Wednesday, June 7th, we've got What's Your Mod with the marvelous, fantastic, tall Edmund playing at 3 p.m. And if I'm not wrong, he's playing Field of Glory stuff. But Edmund is in the chat. He'll be able to tell you a lot about it. I think I got everything answered. I think. Now at 3 p.m., fog it shall be. Yes, see? I got it right. A news update you might share on Ancient Arenas chariots. Byron, not a lot, because basically what's happening is that the teams that is working on Ancient Arenas is the same sort of, as a group of people, team working on Stargate. There were actually 2 separate teams, and we've put them together back in end of summer last year. But by the time they got into the gist of things, it was basically beginning of this year. and we've decided to sort of move all the team working on Stargate, finish Stargate, make sure the game is as best as it can, top notch, beautiful, blah blah blah, and then move to finish Ancient Arenas. It's actually not far from completion, but we've got a lot of technology infrastructure to work on Quadriga because of all the multiplayer component and such. So we've got to sort of decided to sort of focus our attention on one game, make sure that we make it right, and then expand the team to work on multiple projects simultaneously. So this is how it's been worked on right now. Yog, hey Yog, how are you? How's things? I've been doing a couple of hours strategic command each day too. Unannounced streams. Oh. Do you have anything coming up? Because if you've got something coming up, then we should put it in the schedule. It's good that everyone knows when you're online. He's addicted. Gosh, I'm starting to be addicted to beer. I think I'm gonna have a beer next week as well. This is not a commercial about drink more beer, by the way. So I think we're done for today. I am going to give you a quick reminder about next week, Feel Day. Make sure that you subscribe to the beta for Terminator. Go on the site. There's a lot of beta opportunities as well. Also, one little thing. Thank you for upvoting Distant Worlds 2, which is after more than a year after release, is back into the mostly positive reviews on Steam. We are super happy about it. We actually celebrated this because it's a great sign that we can work on fixing things. It's taking time. Sometimes it's taking more time than we would like to, but fixing things is important, and we've seen it work for Distant Worlds 2, not only for the reviews, but the feedback we're having, the approach of our development team, seeing that improvements were changed the mood of people. It's been a fantastic reaction. So I thank you very much for giving the support to Distant Worlds. I have to say that seeing it's back into mostly positive and in the blue, as we say, for Steam, it's great. And we're now ready for a new phase of Distant Worlds 2, and hopefully you're going to see a lot of very cool things happening around the game in the future. So thanks to the development team as well. They have been working their arse off to make things happen over the last 12, 14 months. Here's to a great series of new updates coming for Distant Worlds in the future. So thank you for that, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.
Signal. I need this to get through. Are you there? Good. Listen, it's finally happening. Our people, the founders, survivor groups we didn't even know about, they're all coming together, fighting together against the machines. This is either the start of something big or the end of everything we've been fighting for. If it doesn't work, it has to work, right? You have seen the intel from Fort Worth. You know what those bastards are doing to the people that they have captured, what they're building with the data that they're getting. This battle, where we finally all come together, and I just hope that it is enough to stop whatever those bastards are building in there. All right, people, this is it. Let's get this done.
The attraction towards new experiences is powerful. Alienware gear isn't made to resist that pull. It's made to accelerate it, to transport you to new places where you can embrace difference and leave familiar behind, bringing you ever closer to the ultimate experience. See you on the other side.